Awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm Gayatri from Index One, and I'm joined today by Michael Hardiman and Kelly Christodoulou from Ocean Horizon. As an index provider, we've observed growing investor appetite for thematic investment strategies in 2025 that were driven by interest in areas such as AI, clean energy and infrastructure, and sustainability or ESG related themes. So this year, we're highlighting the thematic trend by launching the Ocean Horizon Mediterranean Index, created by Ocean Horizon and calculated and maintained on our index calculation platform here at Index One. The Med Ocean Horizons Index is the world's first geographic impact-themed global equities index. It focuses on companies in the global ocean economy while directly supporting Mediterranean marine conservation through partnerships with 3 local NGOs. This sounds very fascinating. Michael, can you tell us more about the index and what motivated its creation?
Sure. So I have an interest in thematic indexes as a background, and also science. So I have a background in environmental finance, and that is actually how Kelly and I first met many years ago. So we met in Australia, but just by chance, we both find ourselves now living in the Mediterranean, and totally in the Mediterranean. So I'm in Malta, and Kelly's in Cyprus. So we're totally surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, both of us. And when I came over here, I wanted to sort of like get back to my sort of environmental roots and do something to help the local environment. And I thought maybe there's a way to do that by also, contributing something on the professional front. So the idea sort of ticked over my mind, maybe there's an index here which can help marine groups have a marine thematic and sort of provide some benefit to local NGOs, something tangible, as well as a kind of like investment benefit as well for anybody who wants exposure to the marine economy, because that's a growing thematic as well. So yeah, decided maybe we'll put together a marine index. So Kelly and I have teamed up, done that. We've found some partners that hopefully we can direct a bit of benefit to as well. So I'll let Kelly sort of explain the on-ground sort of benefit we hope to achieve with this thematic. So I'll just hand over to Kelly now.
Great. Thank you, Michael. And thanks, G, and thanks for having us. Yeah, absolutely. As Michael said, we live here, we live the blue economy, right, every day. But we know that, especially on the Mediterranean, there are pollution, there's environmental degradation, we see it. So we wanted to do something about it. And we have formed with a donation program as well with 3 partners, as Michael said. And I'd just like to go through this program. So 10 basis points of annual management fees goes to 3 marine-focused NGOs. It is philanthropic only, and it's to support ocean conservation. It is independent of investment decisions or the index methodology, which Michael will talk about later. Donations are made annually and split evenly. We'll have full disclosure on our website, so anyone wants to see how the funds, the basis points are being distributed, you can. And I must stress, this is philanthropic only. This does not qualify as an ESG or sustainable investment product. And importantly, donations commence on day 1 of the index launch, and it's independent of any management fee that's generated. Gee, I'm wondering if we could go to the next slide, please. So the first one is Nature Trust Malta. And what they specifically do is they are involved in many conservation efforts locally, including habitat restoration, marine education, and wildlife rescue. And more information can be found on their website. And next one. Thank you. ACTI is based in Cyprus. It is an NGO that focuses on raising environmental awareness and promoting sustainable development within the Mediterranean region. And next slide, please. So Marviva is our last one. They are based in Italy. Again, it is an environmental foundation that focuses on biodiversity conservation. the promotion of marine protected areas, pollution, illegal fishing, ghost nets, as you can see, which is a big issue in the Mediterranean. And again, with all three, we would encourage you to have a look at their websites and to explore what they do. Thank you, G. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Kelly. And thank you, Michael. And I know you've covered this in your sections, but to summarize, how would you say that this index differs from other environment-focused indices?
Yeah, so first I should say thank you again to the NGOs, because this is a brand new concept, so it was difficult to sort of express what we wanted to do. So yeah, we really appreciate them getting on board with this. Yeah, this differs, again, that Mediterranean focus. There's blue economy indexes out there, there's funds out there, but they tend to be global. I mean, the ocean itself is global. We wanted something which is really Mediterranean specific, so that if you're investing in it, you know that you're investing in the companies that are actually, like, you know, impacting your backyard. We assume this is going to appeal mostly to investors in the Mediterranean area, Southern Europe. It is available in the US, and I'll get into the availability of the index a bit later. But yeah, we're assuming that the target market for this is investors locally. So yeah, we wanted to sort of isolate companies that were active in the Mediterranean, that also had ideally a sort of positive, it's not an ESG index, but if companies had any sort of like egregious behavior on that front, they were out. So investors can kind of feel relieved that the companies in the index do sort of, you know, do okay on that front. So yeah, it's the first index which really looks at a localized impact of the companies in the marine economy in this local area. So I should explain a little bit more about the indexes and the methodology.
Yes, I was just going to ask, let's dive into the methodology. Could you walk us through the stock selection process, the weighting, the rebalancing, the rebalancing frequencies and other key elements? And to our audience, as always, please note that any back-tested performance shown is hypothetical and for illustrative purposes only, and past performance is not indicative of future results.
Yeah, so it's basically a subset of any kind of basic blue economy index, but we've split it with three factors for selection. One is obviously Mediterranean activities. So in the selection process, companies obviously have to have substantial either revenue or just activity, or ideally a base in the Mediterranean. That accounts for 50% of the weighting. 30% is also the kind of environmental responsibility factor of the companies. And then we have a factor for innovation. So it's 50 Mediterranean, 30% environmental sensitivity, 20% marine innovation. So there's a lot of companies out there that are doing interesting things, even if they're very minimally exposed to the Mediterranean, or even not at all. There's an element that lets those global innovators come into the index. And we've kept a weighting, maximum 30% can be companies that aren't actually in the Mediterranean, but are doing innovative stuff. So we've got like, I think Ørsted, a Scandinavian, company, wind power, not actually in the Mediterranean, but there's always talk, like here in Malta, there's constantly talk about, getting some offshore wind power going. So, we wanted to sort of capture the future possible companies that could be active in the Mediterranean. Not yet, but we wanted to get that innovation element. So yeah, and we started with a pretty simple weighting, equal weighting. But based on those scores, the Mediterranean exposure, the environmental sensitivity and the innovation, that goes through an AI filter to adjust that the weighting of each constituent stock. And we have also a cap so that no company can be more than 5% of the index. And the rebalance is quarterly. So it's an annual reconstitution, unless anything major happens, and a quarterly rebalance.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Michael. Um, and at Index One, we offer a holistic index calculation platform that delivers fast, flexible, and scalable solutions. And what we do is help build indices based on custom strategies with full capabilities for backtesting, rebalancing, handling corporate actions, and distribution. The Ocean Horizon Mediterranean Index was set up on our platform by uploading a CSV file of their strategies, weights, and constituents. And then the index is now rebalanced on a quarterly basis using our rebalance and corporate action functionality. The entire life cycle from backtesting, calculation, maintenance, and distribution happens seamlessly on our platform. Michael, how would you describe the process of setting up the index on our platform?
Yeah, gee, it's really easy. As you mentioned, that CSV file. Once you've got that, once you've got your stocks and your weights, it's so easy to upload those to the platform. Just click a couple of buttons, and then yeah, all this work's done. So, I mean, one of the reasons why we proceeded with this was the back test showed that that chart looks pretty nice. So, yeah, it was very easy to put. Once we had the idea together and the stocks, putting onto the platform really showed us that we had something worth pursuing further. So yeah, it's been great. It always is great working with Index One.
Thanks, Michael. We're always happy to hear that. Let's now review the performance. So we have the fact sheet here, which I'm going to show you in a second. There you go. So we've got the fact sheet here, and it is highlighting the returns and key metrics. Could you walk us through why this benchmark was chosen and how you feel the index is performing relative to the benchmark and the overall theme?
Yeah, so I mean, we could have benchmarked it against some existing funds, some existing ocean ETFs, but I decided equity is probably more appropriate given that it's a major benchmark, and the stocks in the index are global. So we've got companies, European, no, Scandinavian listed, Athens, Hong Kong, New York. So it made sense to get a global benchmark. And against the SPY, well, that's sort of like a why not? That's kind of like the big one to benchmark against. And look, when we're outperforming it, why not show that we are?
I love it. Thank you, Michael. Amazing. So, yeah, this is a very exciting index, and we're thrilled to bring it to investors who want to align their portfolios with companies and causes that reflect their values. How can an investor gain exposure to this strategy?
Yeah, we've teamed up with a couple of partners, primarily Mexim, the online broker, who, again, just as the NGOs have been fantastic to partner with, I've got to give a shout out to Mexim, who have jumped on board this. It's something a little different, but they saw the potential. They're based in Cyprus as well, which helps. They kind of get what's going on in the area. So yeah, it's available to clients of Mexim. Interestingly, we've got 3 different versions of the index available. So we have partnered as well with Global Beta Advisors in the US, who have created risk-adjusted optimized versions. So the index itself, because it's a niche thematic, it's quite volatile. There are different versions which incorporate some bond ETFs to dampen that volatility. So there's an aggressive version, which is close to the baseline index, a conservative, and a moderate one in between there. And so they've been created through an optimization engine that Global Beta has called Arthur. Arthur's also available to any users of Nitrogen, the advisor platform in the US as well. So these 3 versions are available on Mexim. They are actually USD only as well. So this removes the foreign exchange risk as well. So I mentioned before, we've got constituents from all over the place. What the optimization engine did was isolate US listed and ADRs. So it's a smaller slice of the index that people get direct exposure to, but the performance profile is pretty much the same, adjusted by volatility though.
Great. Thanks, Michael. Well, we're proud to support Ocean Horizon by enabling the full life cycle of backtesting, calculation, maintenance, and distribution for this thematic index. We look forward to supporting more innovative indices from Ocean Horizon in the future. We're now moving into the Q&A portion of the webinar. Please submit your questions in the chat box and we'll address them as they come in. In the meantime, Kelly, do investors pay anything extra for those donations?
Yeah, thank you, G. No, investors do not pay anything more. Donations are deducted directly from the management fees received. So the index investors do not incur any additional costs beyond the management fee. Thank you, G.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. And is there a minimum investment for this strategy?
Yes. So on the Maxim platform, there's a 5,000 minimum buy-in, which, is actually another sort of innovation of this. It's a common pathway to put an index on a direct indexing platform. And you're often looking at a $100,000 minimum investment to get access there. The alternative to get a lower buy-in, wider distribution, is obviously an ETF. And then you're looking at all the running costs associated. So the difference here is, as Kelly mentioned, the first dollar that this makes gets split to the NGOs, rather than the first dollar being the first dollar which pays off the running fees of an ETF. So yeah, we're kind of proud of that innovation as well. And again, grateful to Maxim for facilitating that.
Amazing. And yeah, this is such a good cause and a very interesting index. And we're very honored to be the index calculation platform that hosts it and calculates it for you guys. So thank you for choosing us. And we really cannot wait to see, the real life impact that this index has, for the Mediterranean and the ecosystem in general. And
we probably should do some updates on our website. Our website has instructions on how to get how to invest in this. We've got links to Maxim. So yeah, if anyone out there wants to know more, oceanhorizonindex.com is the website, and that's got links to our partners as well. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to once we see where the money is going and what it's doing, put some updates on our website down the track.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think we have any questions come through. So I guess I will say, if anyone else has any questions after this webinar, feel free to reach out to us through the email addresses that are listed on the screen, and we will get in touch with you. But to everyone that joined today, and to the both of you, thank you so much for your time and participation. Be sure to subscribe to our email newsletter to stay updated on our upcoming video content. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dee. Thank you. Bye.